Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to be talking about YCS Atlanta with you guys, what the popular deck choices are, and what you guys think might do well, and what I believe is going to do well. I've only laid out some of the top decks right now. I have Plants, Agents, Dark World, Karakuri, Six Samurai, Rabbit, Inzector, and Windups. Alright, as we all know, Six Samurai just won YCS Guadalajara. I don't see this deck doing very well. I think it was kind of a fluke. If you ask any of the players down there, they said that it was a big meta for Six Samurai. There was a lot of Six Samurai players representing, so of course, like some of them are gonna top. It's just like any meta. If you have a lot of people playing the same deck, of course you're gonna see some tops with it because there are so many people playing it. They're bound to win some of their matches. Inzectors did pretty well. Windups did pretty well, and so did Rabbit. I think these are the top three decks of this format right now. I believe Plants just cannot keep up with the power that these two decks have, and the first turn ability that all of them have. +4, +3, or at least +3, and just a plus, like a couple pluses with backup. So I believe Plants won't do that well, but I still think they'll be a contender. Most of the big players in the game have moved on to one of those three decks. I believe Agents can do fairly decently, but they're really linear in what they can do. I mean, they can set up nice defenses, but they're easy to get past if you play any bit decently. Their main thing is Gotchi and Zemain's first turn, followed up by like a Hyperion or Christia. A good side deck can take care of these with Legion of Lights and Smashing Grounds and stuff, and it really puts them in a position that they can't come back out of, so I don't think Agents are going to do that well. Next is Dark Worlds. With Dark Worlds, their main problem is windups. The Hunter loop sends cards, not discards, so they don't get their effects, and really Dark World doesn't function well off of a small hand. They really don't. They have to have their combo cards, and without that, they're nothing. I really don't see Dark World doing anything, which is pretty sad because I love Dark World. I just don't see them doing anything for this event, and I really just don't think that they'll do good from now on until windups are hit. Next is Karakuri. Karakuri have kind of faded a little bit because they are kind of like the slower of the synchro spamming decks. They have a lot of powerhouse moves, which I know I used to play them, but they're not really anything special, really, in terms of coming back. They have a lot of preemptive plays like Naturia Beast, Naturia Landois, and stuff like that. If they can set up, in their first couple turns, then they normally win the game. But the problem is all of these decks set up faster, and that's why I'm not going to say Karakuri is going to do very well. Now, they do have the ability to play macro, which helps, but that also takes away their ability to play Naturia Beast. I'm pretty sure they can still play Landois. I can't remember if he has to hit, if the card discarded has to hit the grave or not. I don't think it does. I think you just have to discard it to negate effects, which that's great, but I just don't see them having the power to keep up with the first turn plays. Their main thing is, can they get their Fiendish Chains and their warnings fast enough to stall out the other deck until they can get their powerhouse moves? That's going to be the hard part. But they do love to fight against Gotchi and Zemains, though, because this guy just changed the battle position and ram over. Next is Rescue Rabbit. With the ability to set up negation first turn and then have backup for it, like actually having something to stop plays, like every card in the deck is negation, or being able to make a negation card is pretty damn good. These guys can set up the preemptive powerhouse plays before like these decks can actually bring out their powerhouse plays. It's really whether this deck goes first or second that's really going to depend on how they do. But I still think that this is probably the most consistent deck of the meta right now, and I see Dino Rabbit getting at least one top 4 spot, and I would even go as far as to say that I see Dino Rabbit winning YCS Atlanta. Next is Inzector. Inzector's had a really good showing at YCS Guadalajara. They have a nice matchup against like Six Samurai and stuff, and they have a nice matchup against a lot of decks because they just have that spot removal that, I mean, a +4 play every turn is just really nice. I'm a big believer that if you +5 on your opponent, you're going to win, and if you don't, you're probably a really bad player. So like being able to +4 in one turn is pretty awesome, especially off of a play that the deck can do very easily. The only thing I see hurting them more than anything is the ability of rogue decks to play macro and such, which I believe a lot of decks are going to switch over to playing macro instead of defissure just to stop this card. It's really one of those things where like a lot of decks can play it, they just don't. They choose to play defissure instead because warning can stop macro, but it's one of those things where like, I don't know, these guys side Royal Decree as well as windups do, and it's just I see them siding it in and just dominating, just popping away things, and I believe that they'll also get a top 4 spot, maybe 2 top 4 spots. That's kind of iffy, but they'll definitely make at least 4 spots in the top 32, I believe, with Rabbit making probably like the same amount, if not a little bit more, depending on how many good players are running it. That's the hard part, is deciding which of the good players in the game are actually going to play these. Next is windups. Windups are a deck that's just super consistent in what they can do. The ability to make factory plays really live, loop with your rat and hunters, and just play tour guide is just wow. They can just pop out a rank 3 out of nowhere, and then pop out a rank 4 and a 5 out of nowhere too in the same turn. With Windup Rabbit, they get a lot of plays off that they normally wouldn't, because you can spot remove your own cards to make Valor not work, which is amazing in itself. And so the only thing that really hurts them is dropping a max C on them, and they can still play out of it because a lot of them main Phoenix Chains, like my deck. They main warnings and stuff like that, and then they side decrees and stuff, so macro doesn't hurt them as well. And they side, like, I don't know, it's just like they can side almost anything in that they want, and it's just pretty amazing. So I see this deck getting at least 1, maybe 2 top 4 spots, and I see about, I'm going to say 6 or higher of these in the top 32. So I believe that the ending result is going to be in the finals either 2 Dino Rabbits or a Dino Rabbit and a Windup being for the championship. With that being said, I do believe that one of these 3 decks is going to win the event, and I also believe that a well-known player is going to win the event. As a lot of people know, Fraser Smith won, I think he won last year with Gravekeepers, and it was like out of nowhere. I mean, the guy has been topping like crazy. He's a great player, and I just feel that him or someone on his team, one of the Ultra Reality guys, is going to win this event because they're all just great players. And I see them winning with one of those 3 decks. If not, I see Plants coming back a little bit just because they are the next best choice, whereas these decks are not, I believe. Interesting, though, is that the decks that did well at the YCS Guadalajara didn't play like Blade Ninja. Like, the winner didn't do like the Blade Ninja OTK and stuff, which is, I believe, the most consistent form of Six Samurai right now. So maybe we'll see something out of this deck. I just don't feel like they have enough power. I don't see ninjas doing well at all. Ninjas are really easily stopped, and people just don't understand it. Yeah, they can first turn White Dragon Ninja in a safe zone, but that does nothing really. Honestly, it's easy to get past. So these are my top 4 deck choices. These are my top 3, my top 2, and my top 1 deck choice. So tell me what you guys think. Like, favorite the video, comment, let me know. Alright, thanks guys.